Hey everybody, we are ready to tune into the 2023 S28 Super Bowl. It'll be Zeb Strong and his Baltimore Ravens who finished the regular season at 15-1 and feature a cast of characters led by Patrick Mahomes and Derrick Henry, as well as Tyjae Spears, Johnny Smith, Tyler Lockett, Christian Watson, a couple of decent tight ends, and Stone Smart, along with John New. And he'll be going up against the Washington Redskins, who are led by Jared Goff, Devon Achane, Alvin Kamara, and wide receivers are A.J. Brown, Mo Alley Cox, Devontae Parker. So they got a little bit more top heavy on their skill players. Game is getting ready to kick off. Grab the ID. And of course, Zeb at 15-1 was the number one seed in his conference. We named the conference after the champions of the conference the previous year. So Zeb Strong actually won the Strong Conference. Michael Reeves, who won the conference last year, finished at 9-7, just making the playoffs, got knocked out in round one. And I think the Redskins were like the 2 seed, the Jets being the 1 seed. We'll take a look at their playoff paths in a moment when we're ready for the kickoff. All right, they're still waiting, so we can take a quick look. The Ravens, they beat the Giants 29-18. Then the Raiders 25-3. The Redskins beat the Jets 30-21, and then the Steelers 38-21. So they were the number 3 seed. Washington was, because they played. Oh no, they were number 2 seed. So they hosted the Jets, and then they went on the road to play the number 1 seed and beat them. So here we go. Kickoff was a touchback, and we're ready to roll. Redskins get the ball first. They got 2 tights, 2 wides with A.J. Brown, Curtis Samuel. Let me share out the broadcast in case he wants to join. I'll tackle left to Achane, and it's guessed wrong, but there's a man in the zone. Achane has a fantastic car, but limited number of carries. So he has 14 unfatigued carries. That's one of them. And Zeb will be having landed on the D cards there. Second and 8. Let's take a look at the Ravens defense. They have Max Crosby, 6'12" forward, to square out left to Curtis Samuels. 2 men are in the zone against the run call. My card, your card. It goes on the D card again. A nice call there by Zeb. There's a tendency to bring the heat, bring those linebackers up, and then so that time he switched up his tendencies and flooded the zones. So we got Javon Hargrave coming in as a third down nose tackle. He likes to stick with Bobby Brown, who's a 5'1", and then Leonard Floyd's a 4'12" asterisk. So 2 asterisks on the line of scrimmage. Crosby and Leonard Floyd. Then he's got another asterisk at right linebacker Bryce Huff. Roquan Smith is a 6'6" to stop containment runs. And then another asterisk in Jermaine Johnson. So he's got 4 asterisk possibilities. There are zeros on the outside. Samuel is the second wideout, covered by a 6. Look out left, Mo Alley Cox. There's a 6 there now. Get 6 yards. That'll bring up 4th and 2. So Zeb brought those linebackers, and 2 of the zones were empty, but Keith threw at one of the ones that had 6 rated Roquan Smith in it. So they get up 3 and out on their first defensive stand there. And now Zeb and his Ravens will take over on offense. 10-yard punt return. So they'll start at their own 31. Blocking back halfbacks have with Stone Smart as the blocking back. Johnny Smith is the tight end. Lockett is the flanker, and Christian Watson is the split end. Lockett and Smith are covered by 4s. Smart's covered by a 4. Derrick Henry's covered by a 6. And Christian Watson's covered by a 5. Quick out right to Johnny Smith. Guess wrong for the 8 yards. So this isn't your typical Patrick Mahomes card. Mahomes had a little bit of an off year, so more blanks than you are used to seeing on a short pass, and the interceptions are a little higher. Still hit the long pass on 9, but again, the picks are a constant danger. The flat pass is pretty good, especially guessed wrong, as we saw in that last play. Derrick Henry in the backfield. I have the blocking back set again. We'll take a look at the Redskins defense in a moment. Lots of 4s that you see. Lots of 4s, a couple 5s, and the 6. Crossing pattern to Tyler Lockett's going to be guessed wrong. He was keying Derrick Henry, and that's going to be a 13-yard gain, and the Ravens are into Redskin territory. So I'm not sure what freeway connects Baltimore to Washington, D.C., but this has got to be a local derby, as they'd say in England. And I guess wrong run, but it was 3 wide, so the white guy wouldn't stop set from getting any yards. Would have been a 5-yard gain otherwise. So it looks like the I-95 is the freeway that goes between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. So I-95 is a grudge match here. 2nd and 10. Some booming field goal kickers in this set. Let's see if either one of these has one. Long pass to Stone Smart. Guess wrong, man. In the zone. Lands on the receiver card, incomplete. Smart's got long gain on 2 and plus 51 on 3. Just missed it. 4 roll. So the Ravens kicker is Brandon Aubrey, the best in the set practically. 2 through 10 out to the 43. Third and 10, Tajay Spears checks in. Now he can also go deep. So you have 5 targets out of the blocking back set. All can go deep. Off tackle draw left to Tajay Spears. It's going to get 4. And containment was in effect. So he's trying to run to get in the field goal range, and he's just outside of field goal range, but the adjustment could land him home, that he's going to punt instead of trying to make a long field goal. That would be a 61-yarder. Goes for the coffin corner kick. It's going out of bounds. It'll go out of bounds outside the 10, so that's the 13 is where Washington will start. Three wide now, A-Chain in the backfield. As an owner of A-Chain in another league, you hate to run him out of a 3 wide. You want that white guy one to sting you. He gets 2 yards there and an empty zone. Jermaine Pratt makes a play on the defender. +2 or +8 roll. 2nd and 8. Stays 3 wide. bomb to A.J. Brown, guarded by a 4, one man in zone, incomplete on Goff's card. Goff's wrong card has a +9 long game. Otherwise, his +5 was going to hit for him. His picks were pretty high too. 3rd and 8. Redskins looking to get their first down of the game. Three wide. Parker checks into the game as the 3rd wide out. It's a sideline right to Parker, nobody home. Land on the D card, he does, but he hits the receiver rating, incomplete. A 46-yard punt, and the Ravens will have good field position. They start from their own 39. Let's take a look at the other special teams. Carlson's there for he's not good until he gets inside 32. Oh, he's got Tylan Wallace. He's lined up as the punt returner. Punt returner 1. I don't have any of those rules that normally got him to only punt returner 2. There's a 2-yard pickup for Derrick Henry. Zeb loves the line bug. He's got a nice center and 5 rated Lloyd Cushenberry. Everybody on the offensive line except for the tight end is a 5 or a 6. Curl to Christian Watson. Single covered. It's a must run on Mahomes' card for 23 yards. So he's got a few more blanks, but he's got those must runs that are very effective, picking up 12 or more yards from 2 to 7. Well into Brandon Aubrey's field goal range now. Brings in Tajay Spears. That's what I was afraid of more than anything, says Keith. Must runs on Mahomes' card. Midway through the first quarter, no score in the 2023 S28 Super Bowl. It's the 2018 Stratomatic Draft. The inside run to Tajay Spears for the pickup 5. Under the 31. Spears stays in the game. Let's look at the play left. There's still a smart guess wrong. He's going to pick up 7. Let's look at the pass rush for the Redskins. They have 4-3 Roy Robertson. Harris, Jaron Reed 4-7's got a little bit of pass rush. Carl Granderson 4-9 has a little bit. The linebacker's got a 5, 0, a 6, and a 7. So no asterisks, no super studs, but as a group they can be effective. Quick into Stone Smart, guess wrong. Stone Smart, the star of the game so far. Just missed that long pass, and he's got 2 completions in a row to bring it inside the 14. The Ravens are now in the red zone. 4-5 for Mahomes so far, for 38 yards plus that run for 20 something. 23? Yeah, 23. First and 10, Spears in the backfield. Curl to Christian Watson. He's trying to stop the running game, but these short yardage defense gives a lot of holes for the Ravens to pick at. Ravens have used a timeout. I remember when that happened. Missed a misclick maybe. First and goal at the 4. Full house set with Spears joining Derrick Henry and Son Smart in the backfield. Lockett and Jonnu Smith are the other targets. Inside run to Henry, guessed right. And he's going to lose a yard. The nose tackle makes the play. Darren Reed's 4 is up to the task. Second and goal at the 5. Same formation this time. The Skins are showing blitz. Guessed wrong. Short pass. Mahomes looks for Jonnu Smith. And he hits him. Touchdown. Sniper scope. Receiver was a 9. With Smith on the 9. So even without the sniper scope, that's a touchdown. Extra point's good. 7-0 Ravens on top of Washington. Touchback. Well, kick, Washington's offense will start at their own 25. Sideline left to Devontae Parker. That's going to be a 13-yard pickup. Empty flat there as he brought some heat. What are you barking at? What are you barking at? Huh? Go over here. Side square out left to Samuel again. This time there was a man there. Guess right. 5 yards. Second and 5. Washington putting together their best offensive drive so far. Square out left again to Samuel. This time empty zone. 9-yard pickup. They're bringing the heat, hoping to get the black die D and get some pass rush with those outside linebackers. Switches it up and brings Pratt in. Tackle right, Gastron picks up 2. So he wants those off tackle the runs, Gastron to hit some of these short gains. Well, that's the second carry today for Ashane, and he's got just 4 yards to show for it. Off tackle right to Ashane. That's wrong. 3 wide though. Hits the short game. First time he got a white die 3, so he didn't have to worry about the white die 1 turning it to guess right. And he picks it up 15 yards down to the 31. White die 1 would have snuffed that out. Kamara checks in. 3 white still. Inside run to Kamara, that's wrong. That white die 1 hits that time for changing a 7-yard gain to a 1-yard gain. Shade back in there on second and 9. Sideline left to Parker. And this pass rush gets home. It was only an 11% chance of a sack, but the random roll was a 6. And that's the end of the first quarter. Jermaine Pratt, who was in their first pass defense at 4, gets home thanks to his pass rush of 4 against Matt Byler's 3. 3rd and 12 out to the 33. So Pratt checks out. In comes Jermaine Johnson. 3 wide. Remember, he doesn't have a premium field goal kicker. Maybe we'll run it. Pick up those extra yards. Or flat pass to Kamara. Let's see what that free safety does, too. Xavier McKinney is a 6'4". Inside run draw. So he does try to run to get in better field goal range, hoping to hit that 8 on the D card, and he loses a yard, white die 1. So 4th and 13. Not many good options here. They try for the field goal, hope it gets adjusted down to go for it, but without Goff having a big number on the short pass, it's not likely to hit. He's going to go for the long field goal. That is bad. 2 through 5, 11 and 12. Need I remind our viewers that 5 is a long gain on Goff's card. So fortune favors the bold there. It's a 7-point swing if he's going deep. Ravens take over at their own 41. Crossing better to Lockett, correctly doubled. Triple double, it's going to be a dump off. And it's going to pick up, looks like 8 yards. Stone Smart, who had no defenders, since that defender was double teaming Lockett. 2nd and 2. 7 and 8 for Mahomes so far. Maybe time for a little line buck here for Zeb. It is indeed a line buck. Picks up 5. $12.54 to go in the half. Ravens are into Washington territory, looking to extend their lead to a 2-score lead, which is definitely possible with Aubrey there. There is a 5-yard pickup. Defensive end Carl Granderson could not make the play. Inside run to Henry, guess right. Man in the zone. Okay, 3rd and 5. Containment stays in effect. Henry's been contained so far today. 6 runs for only 11 yards. Curled to Christian Watson. He thought he was going to try to run it. Switches him up with a short pass, 16 yards, and a first down. Crossing better to lock it. Dump off. 6 yards. Stone Smart gets his 4th catch of the week. 9 and 10 for Mahomes. Seven to Henry gets wrong. Picks up 5. There was a man in the zone. Tajay Spears, 12 115 carries left. Derrick Henry, 20 115 carries left. So plenty of carries for the Ravens. 1st and 10 for Washington 14. Short pattern is Stone Smart. Must run for 5 yards. 2nd and 5 at the 9. It gets 5 yards all the way down to 11. That's a pretty nice must run card. Three wide, even inside the 10, you think you'd go to a full house maybe, but nope. Spreading it out. 3-5 showing blitz. Off tackle right to Henry. Guessed right. No gain. 3rd and 5. White dive was a 1, so it would have been guessed right. Yeah, even if he didn't call it. Three, 5 showing blitz. Same formation. Westbrook and Keeney in there as the 3rd wideout. Curl to Christian Watson, covered by 5, incomplete, so he'll set it for the field goal. But he gets a 2-score lead midway through the 2nd quarter. Assuming Aubrey makes it, which is pretty good, 2 through 11 from this range. And he does. And it's a kickoff and a touchback. Washington goes 3-5. What's up, Mike?
Going on.
So, you are the coach of the Jets, correct? You lost to the Saints, right? No, you're the coach of the Saints. Remind me. I should know this.
Yes, Saints.
Saints. Okay, so you did not get marked by any one of these teams in here. So, but I'm sure you played in your division. You played Zeb, right?
I think I played Washington, actually.
Oh, you played Washington. Okay, fair enough. He's having a little bit of a hard time here. Zeb's calling a good game on defense, and Washington's trying to combat that by going flats and spreading it out. There's a key on A-Shade, and that's going to be Incomplete. He has a whole guess wrong flat pass card to shoot for, and he winds up on probably the worst number you can hit, aside from getting an even worse split. So it's 3rd and 10 now. They've had one drive where they got close to field goal range, but a sack on a flat pass pushed them out of range, and they missed a long field goal attempt. The threat of Zeb's pass rush has been keeping the passing game for the Redskins in the flat area, which has worked to the Ravens' benefit. So here we go, 3rd and 10, 3 wide. Kamara in the backfield. I don't think this Kamara card can go deep in this set. No. But he can catch a short pass. And his pass blocking is a 3. So Zeb's got 3 asterisk guys in there right now, or 4. He brings them all. Crossing pattern to Devontae Parker. Needs 10, gets 10. First down for the Redskins. They needed that. 6 of 11 so far for Goff. Only 45 yards. Half of those have gone to Parker. They didn't want to go 3 and out there. Look at the ball possession so far. Washington has gone 3 and out, 3 and out. That missed field goal on the drive I just talked about, and now they got their second drive where they got a first down. This time it's in sideline left to A.J. Brown, correctly double teamed by the free safety Xavier McKinney, turning a 4-yard gain into an incomplete. Shane's back there again. Remember, he only has like 11 on 15 carries left. And that will put a crimp on Washington's offense, because you're not really calling a lot of run against Kamara. Square out right to Curtis Samuels. There's a 6th linebacker there. 2 empty zones. Zeb brings those 0 linebackers to the line of scrimmage and plugs the correct zone with a white die 6 coming. He needed that 6 to make a stop. 3rd and 10. 6:18 to go in the second quarter. So another 3rd and long situation. We got a 3 wide formation with Kamara. Kamara's covered by 4, as is Parker, as is Brown. Let's see what Zeb does here. Not showing blitz. He has Pratt in there to guard Kamara instead of bringing the other 0 pass rusher. Bomb to A.J. Brown, double covered by the free safety, and it'll be complete. So he'll have to punt again. So magnificent defense so far for Zeb. Really frustrating the Washington team. And it's a good punt, though. Take it down to the 9-yard line, 11-yard line. Oh, -1 on the punt bounce. .542 to go in the half. Remember, the Ravens with the ball first at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. Blocking back halfback with Henry and Smart in the backfield. That go right. Going with a triple double team. Jaron Reed's 4 makes the play. It would have been a 9-yard pickup otherwise. 2nd and 6. We'll take a look at the Ravens' possessions. Ravens have gone punt after a 5-play, 25-yard gain, then touchdown, then field goal. Guess strong short pass, going to get 11. Lockett calls it in. First and 10 out to the 26. Mahomes remains hot, 10 and 12 so far. Inside run to Henry, and that's going to get stuffed for a 1 yard loss. Alex Singleton, 6, makes the plays. Linebacker in zone -1 or +9. White dice 6 there. Ooh, that could have been some big yardage on a flat pass to the correct zone. Spears is in there, 2nd and 11. Button hook to Spears. Guess wrong. One gets 3 though in the deep card. 3rd and 8. Three wide. Slam to Smith. Single covered. Mahomes remains hot. +10. Look at those 3rd down conversions. So 11 first downs for the Ravens so far. And they are 2 for 4 on 3rd downs. 100 more yards though. And of course, the pass completion, 42% for the Redskins, 85% for the Ravens. First and 10 out to the 38. Pitch out right to Henry. Short gain. Another first down. Goes for the out of bounds. Does not get there. Taking number 206. Yep, did not call a timeout. Best run of the day so far for Derrick Henry. Tackle left to Henry. Triple double team in effect. 3-yard pickup. The white die was a 6. The tackle is a 5. Trent Brown. 2nd and 7. Spears checks in. Walking back halfback. We are at the 2-minute warning. Guess wrong. Short pass. Incomplete on Mahomes' car. 3rd and 7. Just outside field goal range. You got to think that Zeb will punt if he doesn't pick up any more yards. But if he gets a few more yards, it's possible he may go for it instead of kicking a long field goal. Let's see what happens. Interesting. Goes to a base set, and Redskins off return with a 3-4 instead of a 3-3-5. Short pattern to Stone Smart. Stone Smart is the star of the show, but he can't hang on to this one. And 4th and 7 at the 45, I think we'll punt. run there would have been first down. But maybe him going to a 3-4 dissuaded Zeb from running it. Here comes Braden Mann for the coffin corner. And that's going to be a little bit of a shinkaroonie as it gets down to the 17 and the 28-yard punt. I'm sure Zeb was hoping for him to be a little closer there. 3 wide. Sticking with this 3 wide, despite the threat of the one white dive ruining things for Asian. Button up to Asian. Jordan ran the 6. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Goff continues his rough first half. Hey, but if they can get in the field goal range before the half, make it a 1-score game, that'll go a long way to keeping the Ravens or Redskins in this game. 1-yard pickup. Defensive end +1 or +5. Leonard Floyd's 4 makes the play. 3rd and 9. Another 3rd and long situation for Washington. Three wide. Lamar's back there, not in the shotgun. Cover by 0. Wide Curtis Samuel, he's single covered by a 6. Needs a 5 on Goff's card, and he gets a 5 on Goff's card. 62 yards, a little bit of magic for Jared Goff. As Keith says, I'm just going to go to the guy I think will not be doubled. And he connects down to the 20 of the Ravens. That added some life to really a moribund offense. And there was a 71% chance of a sack. The random was a 98. Javon Hargrave couldn't get past Aaron Brewer. Offense takes a timeout. Look at those sack chances. 98% with Crosby. 98% from Jermaine Johnson. 71% from Hargrave. Just missed. 98% from Huff. 98% from Leonard Floyd. And 45% on the asterisk against Kamara. Stays 3 wide. Yeah, I think the 3 wide's a waste with Asian. You should get him in there where you're going to get Zeb and some run calls. Inside run to Kamara's going to lose a yard. White die 1. White die 1 is not the friend out of that formation. That would have been a 13-yard pickup otherwise. $52 seconds left in the half. Screen left to Kamara, 2-minute zone. 6-foot linebacker. Oh, he hits a short gain. Needs 11, gets 11. So a couple of nice rolls there by Goff. First and goal at the 10, 45 seconds ago. That would have been a pick on the D card. Well, I guess not. It would have been really close to a pick because if you look at the D card, I think it's the 2 through 9 split. Yeah, so it would have been like, whoo, he just avoided one there. Square into Parker. Guess wrong 6 is there, though, incomplete. White die was a 5, so he's using that free safety effectively, supporting one of the zeros on the outside or moving the middle linebacker over. Second and goal at the 10. Here Shane's in there. Square out left. 4's there. You would let that same roll. It'll be a short game if it is. Instead, it's on the receiver reading on the quarterback's card. Samuel cannot do anything with it. 9-yard pickup was guessed wrong. Third and goal for 10. 30 seconds to go. There's no more dump off now. So he's going to have to hit it on Goff's card or on a receiver reading if he's going to throw short for it. And he'll have to avoid that pass rush. Ache's in there. I don't think you're running it though. Smith is going to stay home with that threat, to keep the team in effect. Look for McKinney to either fly it up flat or to double team. A.J. Brown's been totally shut down today. The temptation, if you're on offense, is to go to Brown. The defense calls timeout. Probably going to bring Pratt in. Yep, he does. He didn't like that zero covering Asian. Asian is not a good pass catcher compared to a wide receiver, but he's pretty darn good for a halfback. Gets the plus 10 on 7. A couple of edge catches. Inside run, John, to Asian. Looking for a short gain on his card. No containment in effect as Smith is coming on a blitz. Instead, it's a 6 plus 5. Fourth and goal at the 5. And instead of for a field goal, I don't think he's going to go for it here. So, Goff is in 6. Incomplete, so. Well, he's thinking about it. Might call timeout here. Nope. He lets the clock run down. Brings in Carlson to kick. Give me field goal. Kick is up. Kick is good. So 10-3. Washington makes it a one-score game right before the half. Ravens get the ball first. So let's see if they're going to take a break or just continue forward. Two-minute break here, guys. So I'll be right back. Okay, I think we're ready to get back underway here. Slight delay as the Ravens are late getting out of the locker room after the halftime show. All right, guys, we're about ready to get going again. They're asking me if I'm good. I can't type. Sometimes when you're a spectator, it doesn't allow you to type in the game. The kickoff's down to the 8. See if Braxton Berrios brings it out. We're waiting on the decision for Zeb. Unless we're stuck. Could be stuck. I think we're stuck. Let's close and get back in again. Hopefully we haven't missed too much. Well, the kick return, let's see if the kick return. Oh, maybe it wasn't a kick return. Anyway, the ball's at midfield, so we missed a big play or a kick return or something. There is a 3-yard pickup run off tackle. Let's see if we can see what it is here. It looks like just an end run for 25 yards. Got it out to midfield. Oh, wait a minute, no, that's the wrong way. I guess we don't have it here. 13 yards gets wrong to John Smith. So regardless of how they got here, after that glitch, here we go. Kickoff, end run left. Yep, so it was a 25-yard run by 2-yard run. Then on 2nd and 8, it was a linebucker, Tajay Spears, that got it out to the 50. So like a 23-yard run to Spears. That's what it was. 2 yards to Henry, 23 to Spears. Screen right to Henry, 2-minute zone, incomplete. So they're at the 34 now. Yeah, if you look at Spears' card, I think he has a plus 23 on one of those, on his linebacker card. So let's look at it. So he hit an off tackle one for plus 23. Yeah. 2nd and 10 at Washington 34. 3-4 showing blitz. Pitch out right to Spears. Guess wrong. Nobody's in the zone. The guard was a 5, Robert Hunt, but the white die was a 6, so he only gets 3. 3rd and 7. Three through 5 show blitz. Incomplete. Crossing pattern to Akine turns into a dump off to Smith. Incomplete. And here comes Brandon Alfrey. Make this a 2-score game again. And the kick is good. Square to Parker. Guess wrong, but there's the 6th linebacker there. And it's going to go on the receiver guard for 12 yards. First down for Washington. Or your pickup. Tackle right to Asian. Guess right. He's trying to key, but there's only one man in the zone. But it's still going to lose 5. So from 2nd and 6 to 3rd and 11. A-Chain having a miserable day. 6 runs for 20 yards. I missed the Curtis Samuel score out left for 4 yards on first down. 3rd and 11 now. Kamara in the backfield. Three through 5 for the defense. We left Kamara sack. The asterisk rating of Bryce Huff. And it's an auto sack when you're facing the halfback out of the backfield. 4th and 12. Only lose a yard, but still going to have to punt, I think. Only have a 20% chance for a sack on a flat pass. So we got Tim joining us. What's up, Tim? I think your mic's muted. You gotta unmute that thing. Here's the punt.
Hey, Dennis.
Hey, what's up, Tim?
Not much. Low scoring game so far.
Yeah, Zeb's been all over Chiefs' offensive calls with some good defense, plugging zones and double teaming the right guys. The only spark of offense that Washington had, well, they had 2. They had one drive that was just inside field goal range and he got a sack. He tried a long field goal and missed. And then just before the half, you get a long gain. Goff to Curtis Samuel was covered by a 6. And here's the dump off. 50% chance of a sack, but he can't get it. And that gave them the ball inside the 20 or near the 20, but he couldn't punch it in and had to settle for a field goal. And Zeb's been mixing up the run, and Mahomes is short and flat passing. Mahomes is having a great day, 14 to 20 for 126. No turnovers yet. And the dual threat of Tajay Spears and Derrick Henry have been very effective for Baltimore.
Yeah, I've seen most of the game, but I've missed parts. But I noticed Henry was off to a slow start. But like you say, Mahomes is having a great game.
Yeah, I mean, it's still only 13-3. It is low scoring, so Keith's getting enough rolls and some calls to keep this from becoming a blowout. But they need to get a stop here and put together a drive. The Ravens have Brandon Aubrey, so once he gets past midfield, he's almost in field goal range. Inside run draw to Henry, he's going to pick up 5. That could have been worse because he had no linebackers there.
When I saw that last field goal, it was a 9 roll, and that's not even his longest range. But a lot of guys missed that, and that was a big one. It got it up to 10 instead of 7.
Exactly.
I was going to ask you because when I watched that, I'd already thought about it as the game started, but if you could get 2 years of Brandon Aubrey's card and maybe average kicker for, say, 6 more, isn't he worth the first-round pick?
Oh, man.
He is so good.
He is so good. I would say for sure a second-round pick, and that's where he's been going a lot in these drafts. 2-yard pickup for Henry there. But
because you can change the way you play offense. If you're at the 26, you're like, I'm not worried about a sack here. And if you get a sack, okay, he's still 2 through 10. So.
Right. But it's not just about Aubrey. It's about the other kickers in the set. And there are quite a few monsters in this set. Is that going to continue? Is there always going to be 4 or 5 kickers that have that range out to the 40 at 2 through 9 or 2 through 10?
Very true. And he does miss an 11 extra point, so he's not perfect, but that's just such the range and the 2 through 10 all the way to the 47 or something. Unbelievable. So.
Yep. And there's a nice call there on defense. He keys Henry on a linebacker or on an off tackle. It wasn't a key, but the linebacker in zone made the play. Cole Holcomb's a 5. His other linebacker is a 6 against the run. So either way, he had it covered with that roll in the D card.
He did a good job at the end of the half also, even though he drove down, I believe he had a long pass for a big gain, but he got a field goal. It looked like Baltimore might be moving down to make it 13-0 and run the clock out. So he made a good stop up around the 40, 45 and forced Baltimore into a punt. And then he got the big long gain. And I know he wanted the touchdown, but at least it was 10-3 instead of 13-0.
Quick out right to Mo Alley Cox. There's a 0 there, but it's the defender that gets called on. The defender is Justin Simmons, who's a 5. So that loses a yard.
Yep, and Roquan Smith made a couple of plays. So.
Oh, yeah, he's been doing a masterful job of bringing down Xavier McKinney, making sure that Roquan's in the right spot. I don't like this 8-chain in a 3-wide set because you're giving the defense an out with that 1 wide die against that excellent guest wrong card.
Yeah, both you and I are big believers in protecting the white die 1, and we saw it at the end of the first half. Kamara would have had a 12-yard pickup, I believe, and got 1 or 0. So.
Yep. Incomplete there on the bomb to A.J. Brown. Good call. It was against right call, but there was nobody in the zone, and he's covered by a 4. Typically, when you play Zeb, a strategy that you can use is to hit the flats because he's blitzing his linebacker so much. But I think Zeb's done a great job of mixing up his tendencies, and he's been plugging those flats, sensing that that's what Keith's trying to do. So the flats have not been effective today for Jared Goff.
Yeah, Baltimore killed me in the game we played. I got lucky and had like a couple hundred yards rushing against Washington and beat them in a close game, but I got killed by Baltimore, and Zeb was doing that the whole game. Whatever I was calling, that's what he was protecting. So,
well, there you go. Another example of that. He goes for a flat pass, 2 empty zones, and Roquan Smith stayed to protect the left flat, and that's where the pass went to. It's like a magnet. Wherever Smith goes, that's where the ball goes.
Yep, he's got that Ed Reed type ability of just figuring out what's coming and being there. Polamalu, etc.
Hey, do you mind taking over the play-by-play and I'll become the color man?
Oh, sure.
All right.
So we got Derrick Henry and still sitting on 10 carries, and he's got a good backup in Spears. So there's a flat to
Yeah,
Jonu Smith.
you wound up taking Spears, I think, in the first round of draft, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I was kind of happy when Zeb did it because I'm like, okay, he knows he is a great drafter. And I'd taken Spears in the first round, roughly about 20 in both Autumn Wind and Samifa, which I had to have a running back. And one of the leagues really wasn't going to expect a whole lot that year, but I really liked him. I looked at it a lot on tape. And like I mentioned, I liked him slightly better than a Kane, but I felt like both were first round values, late first.
Yeah, and here's a flight of Watson. Go ahead.
Extra plus 27 makes the play. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say Spears has that added ability to be able to go deep. Now, Zeb hasn't thrown to him deep. He's thrown to Stone Smart a couple times, but Spears is covered by Tyrell Dodson, who's a 6. So, but when you don't have that, if you have 2 4s on the outside, either one of those guys is a decent target to go to deep when you're in the blocking back set.
Yep. And I use that quite a bit, even though he's capped at like 47. It's really hard to commit your free safety to a running back over and over. And you'll see that, a lot of guys have trouble double teaming halfbacks, especially if you don't have like shutdown corners. You just don't want to give the defender extra long gain, too many, opportunities to bite you.
Yep.
Okay, there's a 12-yard pickup. So Mahomes again. He said Jonnu Smith more than a couple of times for short passes, I believe, and he's 6 for 47. And Mahomes overall 17 of 24, 144, no interceptions.
Yeah, you see Zeb go to Smith and Smart because he's focusing his double teams on Lockett and Watson.
Absolutely. Most of the time, the worst call you can make is throwing to the guy that's double teamed. Here's a plus 12 on the interception split. So Baltimore's up to their own 45. Time's not a concern yet, but if you give up a touchdown here, it becomes a concern. So,
yeah, I think as an opposing coach, when you start seeing those guys like Smith rack up 7 catches or Stone Smart rack up 5 catches, you got to think about switching it up and double teaming them.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's my point.
No, I totally agree, and that's actually I don't mean to give away too much, but my guy that I like to follow in the NFL over a long period of time, as far as the way he coaches offense, is Sean Payton. And you would look at the half of some of the games when Drew Brees was there and such, they'd have 8 different guys that had a catch in the first half. And you're like, okay, what are this guy can't be the best option, but it's avoiding double teams and just, okay, if you're going to run 2 double teams at Brees, one of the linebacker zones is probably going to be open. So I'm just throwing to an undouble teamed guy into your open zone. So.
Love it. Yep.
And, I think it was Joe Montana brought up one time, nothing breaks up. Long passes are great and big plays, but he goes, nothing breaks the spirit of a defense more than just consistently getting first downs. And he was kind of defending the Bill Walsh, way of running an offense. I think Zeb does that a lot with this team. In the 2 or 3 games I watched him played, and this game, he's not trying to beat you with long passes like some people would think Mahomes, I got to throw 10, 12 long passes. He's controlling the clock and using the threat of the long pass to kind of keep guys at home. So.
Good point. Another 3rd down here, 3rd and 7. I think they've been pretty good on 3rd down so far, over 60%.
One thing that helps Spears stay in the game here is he's a 4-pass blocker. So there's a plus 10.
I guess I was wrong. I thought it was maybe it seems like it's better, but that brings it up to a 44%, 4 of 9 on 3rd down for Baltimore.
Mahomes is like 10th in the set this year, but he's still strong. The one thing that is really kind of his downfall this year is short pass gets wrong. It's just not very good compared to the average card in the set. Whereas he's really pretty good flat and long, right and wrong. But you almost Hope he's guessed right because you can get the must runs when he's throwing short. So there's a 5-yard catch for Spears.
Yeah, I think this might be Mahomes' best must run card because it's like
Yeah,
five plus from 11 to 11. That's nuts.
Yeah, and I got lucky in some EFA. It seemed like he hit those a lot of times on the, when you're really needing it, like 3rd and 11, 12, where, dump off would be good, but it may only get 6 or 8. He'd hit those, really long must runs and picked up a lot of important first downs when we were way behind in the chains. There goes Spears for 11. He's got 6 carries so far. If I'm not mistaken, he's got 14 unfatigued or so.
Yeah.
He's got 8 remaining, so yeah.
I'm showing 9 on my thing. Because I missed that one thing after the half. I should get out and get back in again at some point. I think my thing's off by 1 carry. So it's funny how it does that. Maybe I'll do that between now. There's going to be a change of possession.
Short to Smith is guessed wrong, incomplete. That's part of the reason a lot of guys don't spend a lot of double teams on receivers blocking back, or halfbacks blocking backs, tight ends. Sometimes they don't have near the card or the pop that a wide receiver does. So a lot of guys save their free safety double teams for wide receivers, and there's valid reasons for that. Okay, showing blitz, 2nd and 10. It's going to be guessed wrong, but incomplete.
There's
Looking
that
for Tyler.
Short pass, yeah, that you're talking about in Mahomes. It lacks the teeth that it usually has.
Yep. Looking for Tyler. Got Dennis's heart. Lockett.
I'm sorry. I was sorry to see him take a step down in the offense, but we'll see what happens to him in the future. I hope he catches on somewhere. If not, I can see him.
Short to Westbrook kicking, and it is incomplete. Guess right, and would have been guessed wrong as well. But 4th and 10, and you've got Aubrey. So, and he nails it.
Yeah, good stand by Washington though. They need to keep that within 2 scores, and 13-point lead. You got to get a drive together. It's 4th quarter, 12:36 to go. You got to get a touchdown drive.
Oh yeah,
and then play some defense.
Only way you kick a field goal really is if it's like 4th and 14 or something, and you just gotta take what you can get. But for the most part, absolutely got to play touchdown out of the next 3 drives. There's a draw to Kane and fireworks. A little bit of delay. Yes, short gain, 14 yards.
Yeah, he would love to hit one of those big numbers. But again,
go ahead.
You stay 3 wide, and you've given the defense a bailout on the 1. Yeah, I had A-Chain in Salifa, and I loved his card, but there were games where he just struggled. And, if the defense knows what's coming, Zeb earlier was plugging the zones where A-Chain was running. Kamara's in there now, though.
I was going to ask, how many leads did you have him in? Just that one?
Just Salifa, yeah.
Yeah. There's a linebacker draw. Guess right. It's going to be -1 keyed. He's only got a fumble of 9 on a keyed, so good hands for Kamara. We've got a 2nd and 11. See if Baltimore shows blitz here. Note 3-3-5. 3 wide receiver. Yep. Here's a down and distance. You would kind of like to leave the white die 1. Guess wrong. It's a really good drawdown. So. It's an end run left. It's going to get 4. Doesn't get the block over there from Curtis Samuel. So we'll set up a 3rd and 7 at the Washington 42. If you don't make it and it's close, you're definitely looking at going for it here.
Yeah, it gets later.
Definitely possibilities of flat passes and runs here. And it is a draw to Kane. It's not going to break contain. He gets 2, 4th and 5. I think I'd punt, but you'd probably go for it. It's a borderline call for me, but I think I'd punt.
Yeah, I probably would go for it, and he's going for it.
It's close, but
you don't get it here, and that's pretty much game over. Especially
I agree, because if falling 16 down is really a lot more than 2 scores, you got to get 2 extra point, 2-point extra points. So
right, and to stop Zeb, which he seems to be doing, like what you're saying, controlling the clock, long drives.
Okay, short to Parker, 3-minute zone. He's got a first down, 11 yards.
I like to throw to short there. I think he's gotten too much to the flats and not enough short and deep. The flats, he's throwing right at Roquan Smith or 2-minute zone with McKinney there, and he needs to open it up a little bit. But again, he's sticking with the 3 wide, hoping to avoid the wide dive one if he moves with A-Chain.
There's a flat, no bin in zone. It'll be guessed right, 7-yard pickup. 2nd and 3. So you're not really concerned about the clock, but you don't want to run another 5 minutes off of it here either. So.
Right, it's an effective drive. He's moved it to where he's in scoring range just about. He just needs to bring it home and get in the end zone for the first time today.
Yep. So I long to Brown, and he's covered by 4. Incomplete. Had a shot there. No bin in zone.
I think that's a receiver reading on the D card on the 10.
Yeah.
So we had a shot with A.J. Brown's max D card.
So 3rd and 3. Got a couple of downs. You're going for it for sure.
You got to watch out with A-Chain in there that if he hits one of those negative numbers on a run, like if he goes to a run right now,
Yep.
It's a 5 on an off tackle, that's -5, and suddenly you're now in contained.
Kind of thinking flat pass here, one of the outside zones. It's a look in though. Devontae Parker needs 3 yards, incomplete, double teamed correctly by Zeb. One of the better defensive coaches in Stratomatic.
Nice call there. That's a Super Bowl winning type call.
Yep. So 4th and 3, staying in the 3 wide receiver, 1 running back set. He's double teaming the 4 there. So you wonder if he might, if you're Keith, think about throwing to Samuel and seeing if maybe you could get. It's 2-minute zone. He's got 6 yards though. Got it off his card. So first down at the 32, just under 8 minutes remaining in the Super Bowl.
Zeb's been doing a good job of mixing up his right linebacker, switching between Pratt and that other guy who has a great pass rush. There's the white dive one, kills the short game.
Yeah. Second and 10 to Baltimore 32.
I think it's Bryce Huff that comes in.
Over left of Kane. 25.
That's a big one.
There's the chunk play you needed. And you got it organically. So.
Yep, and he says, forget about your white dive one. I got the white dive 3. I got a first down, and I'm inside the 10.
There are guys that do not like to show free safety blitz, whereas I pretty much always do inside the 10. But there's reasons for it. If you're throwing to like a guy that doesn't catch all that many, yeah, you're pretty much giving up the 10 straight out to like a halfback or something. So there are reasons for it, but I almost never don't show blitz. I think you're probably the same way. You pretty much always show it. So.
Right. I think the John Smith touchdown was a sniper scope, but it would have been completed either way.
Yeah. So Zepp's not using it, and he's going 3-3-5. So he's going to have a 6 moving up if he calls run. He calls pass, but he does move a guy up. There's no draw inside the 10. He gets 3. Second goal at the 4. 6 minutes left.
Just 2 unfatigued carries left for A-Chain. Got to get in the end zone here with the amount of time left now. I think you said we didn't want this try to take 5 minutes, but it's taking 5 minutes. And now we're down to 6 minutes to go. Probably going to get the ball at least one more time, but maybe not 2 more times, depending on what happens with Zeb.
Yeah. Zeb's got a lot of guys that don't fumble. Mahomes doesn't fumble. Tajay Spears is minimal. Henry's not a fumbler, so not going to get a turnover more than likely. So you're going to need some time to drive the ball down. Short A.J. Brown being double teamed, another great call. And it's incomplete.
Touchdown if it wasn't double teamed.
Yep.
Zeb's pulling that magic out. He also, at that time, he brought in Jalen Phillips. So inside the 10, on that right linebacker spot, he brought in the 5 against the run.
Mm-hmm.
Giving up 0, but wanting to have if he was running to the outside, have a 5 there. Bryce Huff's a 0 against the run. He's got a better pass rush. But let's see what he does this time. If he goes with Phillips now he's got Phillips in there.
Kamara in, so that'll cut the fatigue and take that -5 guess right off the board here. It's going to be short guess wrong, Bo Ellie Cox. Incomplete. Bo Ellie doesn't have great hands, and it showed there.
Yeah, you're double teaming your best receiver, so that, of course, that would to Brown, that would have been a touchdown, but all those double teams makes you shy away from him, and then you throw it to somebody else who has more blinks than you'd like on that key 3rd down. 4th and goal now. That's
probably part of the thinking in going 3 wide receiver is just to open up more possibilities of good receivers that aren't going to be double teamed. So here we are, 4th and goal at the 4, game on the line.
This time he brings in A-Chain, doesn't care about the negative yardage if it's guessed right. He wants that run call to throw short, or he wants Zeb to double team everybody and run the ball.
It's going to be guessed wrong and run left. It's got a good blocker. No, 0.
That's the problem with that A-Chain card, is that on an end run, yeah, he has that big +25 on 7. But look at, there's a 8, 6, 5,
17.
4, 3. Too many chances to come up short on that one.
Yep, I was going to say, I think, 10, 16, 17 chances of a touchdown of 4 yards. Everything else is not going to put it in. That's hard.
Yeah, it's a nice chance of not making it.
So ball at the 4. A safety would get you within 8 and 3, but that's still not really going to help. You really have to have a touchdown if you're Washington based on the time here. There's +4 for Henry. That'll help possibly open up at least a flat pass, but any passing play is giving the defense a chance for a cheap score. So 2nd and 6.
Yeah, if you go line buck to A-Chain, it's a 4 yards or more on every roll except 5. Guess wrong. So that's really what you wanted to do. And on an off tackle, you get 4 every one except for 3, 5, and 8. So end run was the worst choice. If you want to go end run, leave Kamara in there.
So it's 3rd and 8.
If he can go 3 and out here, he's kind of in the same position. If he gets a quick touchdown, he still has a chance.
Oh yeah. So look at the Christian Watson throwing against the 4, incomplete. That'll stop the clock, which gives Washington an extra few seconds. And no block and 59-yard net. Nice punt for the Ravens. You didn't really want to see that if you're Washington. You were hoping for one of those net 30-somethings and maybe, be within a long pass completion of scoring, but you still can do that. It's just going to take a big long game now. 3:18 left.
Only one unfatigued carry left for A-Chain. I'm sure you'll see it on this drive at some point.
Yeah. You'll probably see the other 2 first-level fatigue if he gets to a point where runs aren't going to kill him, because time is your enemy as much as the scorer. There's a draw to Kane and 0. You want the 76 on 2. Almost got the long game though.
+40 on an end run, or line buck +45 on an end run. He's just picking the wrong columns. Revisiting how he got A chain. He traded, if you remember, Micah Parsons to get 1.6. Let's see if I can pull that up here. He got 1.6 and a third and a fourth down pick, third pick and a sixth round pick or something like that.
Did he take a cane at 1.6?
Yeah, he took it really early.
Gotcha.
So,
double team on Brown. We're going to receiver role with 3 men.
yeah, so he traded Micah Parsons for 1.6, a third, and Xavier Collins, an outside linebacker, 4.57.
So 3rd and 10. Got to avoid a sack, and it'd really be nice to get out of 3rd and 10 or 4th and 10. And he's got a left 8-yard pickup, got out of bounds. 4th and 2. We'll see if we see Kamara here. Yep. So he's going with the 3 wide receiver set. Kamara in at running back. 4th and 2. Keith may not be sure yet of who he's going to throw to, but I get a feeling Zeb is. He went for A.J. Brown. It's 5-yard pickup to Mo Alley Cox. 1st down, 2-minute warning. Zeb's been right on his defensive calls pretty much the whole game. So,
okay, he still has all 3 timeouts. It's not quite to midfield yet, so he needs a big play at some point.
yep. Got to get a chunk play pretty quick. Really hard to run linebacks and off tackles and have to burn a timeout. But if you have to get a 1st down, it makes more sense. But you're kind of looking at end runs and passes. Left end run, Kane. See if he can pop a big one. 0. He has just not had his rolls going most of the quarter so far. So got to plus 25, but he's otherwise been just real near some of his big gains without hitting them.
Goes with the hurry up. I think I would use a timeout there. You want as much time as possible with the dump off.
Dump off, absolutely. 37 or more seconds, and you can get a dump off, and that's one of the ways you can get a chunk play.
He's at 5 on Goff's card.
Or a big dump off, hitting a 2 or 12. It's going to be a dump off. Got 14. Does he get out of bounds? Yeah. So that helps.
Yeah, definitely. 98% chance of a sack on 4 of those 6 outcomes.
Yeah. But you're down to 13 snaps, so definitely can't be in bounds a whole lot from here on. All 3 timeouts.
Another thing that we haven't talked about, because Zeb's rarely punted, is that Washington has that Tylan Wallace punt return on 4, but really hasn't had much of a chance to use that as a weapon.
Right. Kane loses 2 yards, and now he's in fatigue level 2, which still isn't a killer. You're mostly looking at big chunk plays when you're running them anyway, but he's going to lose a couple of yards, and he really becomes almost unusable at 3, so he's probably down to his last couple of carries. 2nd and 12.
Yeah, and Zeb called run out of a 3 wide with the game on the line. He wasn't afraid to make an unorthodox call of a run call and caught him in a draw.
Yep, had a got plugging the zone over there, so got the -2. Long gain, touchdown.
Touchdown. Wow.
Really needed that. Curtis
He
Samuel.
finally caught Zeb with an open zone and hit an effective roll to take advantage of it. Still has 3 timeouts, but you're not kicking deep here. I think you got to go for the onside.
Yep. They went for the flat pass there, so. Doesn't get it. Now, if you can get to a punt return, even if they try to kick it out of bounds, it might not go out of bounds, and you've got that huge touchdown. So there's some roads to a incredible comeback victory still open, but they will close pretty quickly here if Zeb can pick up a first down or two.
Yeah, if you're Zeb,
Actually, one first down.
Yeah, one first down, get in Opry's range. I think you're throwing here. I think you're throwing short to lock it, hoping for a run call by Washington.
It's a flat pass right in a 2-minute into zone, incomplete.
Wow, wouldn't that have been huge? A pick with 2 minutes zone on a flat pass with the extra touchdown chances on the return, that could have been huge.
Oh, yeah. Get to the, 8 and 36 chances of a touchdown on a flat pass interception. So 2nd and 10.
Now Zeb goes 3 wide. Seeing if Keith has the cojones to call run in this situation. We're gonna get one of those bracket numbers on an 8 on off tackle or linebacker.
Showing blitz. Flat pass to Henry. 8-yard pickup.
Oh, so the cat and mouse game of Stratomatic was in full effect there.
Still threw outside flat after the 2-minute zone, so Zeb's not afraid to actually win the game versus playing not to lose, as you can see. 3rd and 2. 3 wide receiver set.
It goes with the 3-4, so you can't put 2 men in the other flat zones next to the 6. The free safety's pinned to the 3rd wide receiver. But it does allow him to get that inside linebacker, Alex Singleton, in there.
And when Wright gets wrong, he loses a yard. So he gets the weird roll. And 4th and 3, he's going to punt.
Here we go.
Try to go out of bounds, but if it doesn't, a touchdown on 4, it's the number 1 returner.
It's not going out of bounds.
Oh, we got it.
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me?
We were just talking about it. Oh, my gosh.
There's no bailout. There's no bailout here. Tylan Wallace. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? That's a heartbreaking way to lose.
He did try to coffin corner, but we had just talked about that. You only get it 5 out of 6 times, and then you have to be the number 1 returner to have that touchdown, and he got both of them. Amazing. And here's Daniel Carson to put Washington up 17-16 in a miracle last couple of minutes with 15 seconds remaining. Could we see another big return?
Oh, my stars and garters.
That is a crazy ending if it stays like this for a Super Bowl. It's going to be crazy regardless. If Baltimore comes back, that'd be crazy as well. So this is a crazy Super Bowl. I've got to look. So he scored with 52 seconds left and then 15. So he was down 16-3 with 1 minute remaining and is up 17-16 and did not get an onside kick. So that's hard to do. He's got a touchback. So no time off the clock. Baltimore's got 2 timeouts. They need to get into Aubrey's range. Well, they're pretty much in it already, but to really get in Aubrey's range, 47, but you could stretch that out to 49 or 50. So 25-yard play, and he's got a shot at a really crazy long field goal.
That's right. We got Aubrey here. So it ain't over yet.
Yep. You're hoping Holmes magic. He's got a huge must run, 25, 20. If he happens to get one and get a 3 or 2, plus all the long gains and plus 20 somethings. So there's a chance he could get into almost field goal range right here or into field goal range. It's a flat pass right to Watson. He got 4. Hoping to obviously crack an open zone, defender moving back, something. So now he's got 2 plays to score, but he's got 1 play to get in field goal range. Go ahead.
So a 4 on a long pass would have been a must run if he wasn't double. Or 4 in a short pass. So you kind of maybe that must run for 25 would have made it a little bit more juicy if he would have been able to get an edge.
So no running backs in the game here. He's got Stone Smart back as a blocking back, fullback, and 4 wide receivers. So we'll probably be looking at a long pass to any of the 5 guys because Stone Smart can also catch a long pass. Seb's hoping to pick the guy not being double teamed. It's long to Perry, 2 men deep, incomplete. Would have been a receiver with 1 man. Those of us who believe in zone coverage a little bit feel like we sometimes get overlooked when we make a play like that versus max double teams and hope it's one of the guys you double teamed. But that would have been a receiver. Could have been a huge play had he just had 1 man in long zone. So now he's got to go for the touchdown here. Stone Smart does have a dot, so all 5 guys could go for 71.
Maybe your Zeb's thinking of throwing flat again here, hoping for the triple double team. Leave a zone open.
Possible.
Holmes has the long game on 9, so I think you're better off going long and hoping to get that 9 to an undoubled receiver. So going through the calculations.
And it's not double teamed, incomplete. And Washington win the Super Bowl.
It was a 9. He was not double teamed. You go deep on a 9. That's a long game. Oh my goodness. Ifs and buts or candy and nuts, we'd all have a joyful Christmas or something like that.
Wow.
So we'll see if we can get the competitors on with us. Goodness gracious, what a ending. Oh, we got Zeb. What's up, Zeb?
Well, not much. Quite the ending, huh?
My goodness. I could not believe that. We were going crazy over here.
Yeah, I seem to specialize in giving you some crazy games.
That was unbelievable. And you had pretty much put the clamps on Washington all game. That last 2 minutes was just unreal. Tyke says that was dirty. That you got done dirty.
Is Keith coming on?
I put the invite out there. I don't know. He wasn't logged into the Slack, so we'll see if we can get him on here. Maybe I'll text him.
Yeah, you were not playing not to lose. You were playing to win. You had a couple of flat passes there at the end, and you weren't just going to, ran into the line 3 times and punt.
No,
So
no. I only punted in bounds once, and that was by accident.
Yeah, I had talked just a few minutes earlier that we really hadn't seen Tylan Wallace as a weapon because you really he hadn't forced you to punt very much.
I think he had 2 touchdowns in the regular season.
Wow, and that kind of card can get you 2 touchdowns in a game. So kind of maybe Tylan was due. But that's one of those like Deshaun Watson going back to return the punt against the Giants field.
Not Deshaun Watson.
Oh, Deshaun Jackson, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, really crazy ending. Some very low frequency occurrences came up. He throws a flat pass with 1 minute left and got like a 40-yard touchdown roughly.
Yeah.
Got the 3 and out that he had to have. Punt didn't go out of bounds. It did go to the number 1 guy, and he got the 4. So lots of stars lining up for that ending.
Well, I don't know if an NFL team has ever been down 13 points with 50 seconds left and come back to win.
Yeah.
We were talking about just the very few roads he had a chance to win on it. He basically got both of them. You needed pretty much a touchdown almost immediately. You needed the 3 and out. You needed really to score on the punt return, or you're going to get 1 or 2 Hail Marys. So
it might not have been a Hail Mary. It might have been 1 or 2 end runs with Devon a chain.
Yeah. He had 2 more carries left at fatigue level 2. After that, he's not going to get those big numbers. But yeah, you'd have to think about.
And he was flirting with those big numbers too.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, and on that drive before he got the flat pass touchdown, he had the ball inside the 10, and if you go line buck or off tackle, you get a touchdown on that roll. I think, and he went end run when there was like only 17 out of 36 chances to get a touchdown. Even guessed wrong, so that was the wrong column to shoot for. I told Tim if he's going to end run, he should have had Kamara in there. So were you surprised to see him go end run on that spot?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't sit there. I hadn't counted the the exact number of rolls he needed, but I know that he's once you get inside the 20, you want those short gains more than you want that plus 76 than the big runs. Sure. And he's got those consistent hits up the middle.
Yeah, you've done such a great job moving Roquan Smith around, using your free safety, hitting correct double teams that made huge differences during the game. Run calls on passing downs that were correct. So, I mean, you had called such a great game. It's one of those things that's, I'm sure, frustrating to lose, giving up that many weird points in the last minute. But you called a great game.
Man, that's what makes the game fun. And I'm sure he was got the adrenaline pumping over on his side.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, and you had done that the whole game where you had blitzed the right times and other times you had you would put Roquan Smith in the exact right flat, and so finally he hits that flat to Samuel for the touchdown. Oh, there's Keith. So that had to hurt too. He got you one time with that flat pass and hit a big number. Hey Keith, how are you?
Hey, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Man, Zeb, I'm sorry, dude. That you didn't deserve that.
Congratulations. That was a fun game.
Well, it wasn't on this side, I can tell you that. You bottled me up the whole game. It was very frustrating over on this side of the field.
Yeah, another thing too that we didn't really touch on was Aubrey was 1 first down away from making it a 3-score game at certain points, or at least making it a 16-point lead, which you would have had to hit the 2-point conversions too. Zeb, did you entertain going for it on any of those where you're like at the 45, 4th and 7 or something like that?
Not on 4th and 7. If I had like 4th and 2, I probably would have gone for it there.
Yeah. I remember those calls. It was like a flat pass, hit a receiver reading and found a blank. But yeah, I would have been interested to see if he would have gotten like 4 yards, had a 4th and 3 at the edge of field goal range if Aubrey would have come through for you.
Well, I mean, I had a couple times I punted from there, but it was far enough out that it was less than a 50% kick. Even though he's got the range, or and a half, I would have lined up and taken it, but I didn't want to turn the ball over there.
Yeah, it was an exciting game. I mean, it was that last 2 minutes. I haven't seen anything like that in the championship game in a while. So.
Yeah, Dennis and I were as nervous as we were playing. It was like, oh my gosh, there's so much drama in the last few minutes of the game.
Well, it's fun to have close games like that. And I was pretty amazed. My defense has played really well all year long, but I didn't expect to hold him to 3 points, and I didn't.
Well, you did until the very end, and I thought you did a great job too of mixing in your right linebacker rotations, where you had Huff in there for the pass rush, then you switch it up and bring in the 4 for pass coverage against Kamara in certain spots where you wanted a little more help on the flats, and then inside the 10, you brought in Jalen Phillips and his 5 run rating. So you had to put some thought into how you rotated your linebackers out there.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm sure, Keith, it was probably real tough when you, with like 4 minutes left, you got inside the 10, but couldn't score. I'm sure you were thinking, yeah, that was my chance right there. And
yeah, I pretty much at that time, I wish they have a good game, or say good game, because I thought it was over with. It's all night
Never
long.
do that. Never do that. Never say good game. I hate that when I'm on the other side and then the guy comes back and wins. So it's not over till it's over.
And I feel bad. I mean, I know that, but just the way the game had gone all night, I couldn't hit nothing. I couldn't get nowhere. When I did think I might have a chance, I'd try to run it, and he'd put 2 guys up there and guess run. I mean, he was on. Zeb was on all night. I mean, I just thought it was done when I couldn't get a score down there late. A touchdown.
I thought I was questioning a little bit your use of the 3 wide with A-Chain in there, because you're giving the defense a bailout of that 1 wide die. What was your thinking there, going 3 wide against Zeb with A-Chain back there?
I was trying to hit the flats and keep his linebackers back, and maybe, which I did, take a couple long shots, but every time I did, it wound up on Goff's card. I was hoping to hit the defense because he kept moving his free safety up, and I was hoping that I could keep his linebackers back and have his free safety come up, that maybe I could hit a long pass, but it never worked out.
Yeah, Zeb seemed to pop that move Roquan Swift, either keeping him home or moving him to the side you were throwing to, which kind of prevented a couple of other conversions as well. Zeb, what were you thinking on the defensive side when he went 3 wide?
Well, I expected him to. His offensive line didn't match up very well pass blocking, so I expected there to be a lot of flat passes, and so it was mostly, mixing a couple blitzes, but mostly going to be just keep the linebackers home and double 1 flat or something, because that's where I expected him to go, and sometimes drop the extra defensive back who was only a 4. Sometimes mix it up, drop him back in the deep pass coverage zone.
Yeah, I thought you did a good job too. With a lot of people wonder, okay, if I have a 6 free safety, or a 6 safety and a 4 or 5 safety, which one do I play at free safety? Which one do I play at strong safety? Some people love playing them at the 6 at strong safety, and then they blitz or double team all the time with the weaker safety. But I thought tonight's game was an illustration of why you use that 6 free safety. You put him at free safety because then you had a couple times where you had 2 6s in the flats with Roquan Smith plugging one and Xavier McKinney with a linebacker plugging the other one. So you did a good job of throwing a wrench in his plans to work the flats. And I think that was a big part of it too.
I think I don't know if there's really a wrong answer to that because I mean the other argument is that anytime if I double team correctly with a 6, it's kind of a waste. I mean it's no better than double teaming correctly with a 0. So I think it's just a matter if you have that 6 free safety, you maybe just use them a little bit differently.
Yes, yeah, you're right. You can be successful either way, but I thought with him at home, with the 6 at free safety, you did a good job of using him in the flats, leaving him home, and then occasionally doubling him as well. So
Keith, how did a chain work for you all season? Like, what was his final numbers in the regular season? Because to me, it's a little interesting. Like, you really had to ration his carries and pick when you were going to use him and when you were going to use him as a decoy.
Yeah, most of the time he had between 16 or 18 carries, but it was kind of like tonight's game. He hit nothing, on his card tonight, and he was like that all season. He would it seemed like one game he would bust out and score or run, for 150, 160 yards, and then he'd have games where the same amount of carries he would get 45 yards. And basically that's what happened tonight.
He had one 25-yard run, but he had a lot of bad rolls on his own card.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said he had that 125-yard run, his end run number 7, I think it was. But other than that, he had a lot of bad rolls on his own card.
Yeah, and that was this thing with him. You either have to hit the defensive card, or you got to hit on his big numbers wrong. Other than that, he just don't do anything. Yeah,
and you just and you can't use him 30 times a game. I mean, you can. Did you tend to use him even after he got fatigued?
Maybe for a run or two, because his card. I think it was one game I ran him like 21 times or something like that, 22 times, because when he hits, it's big yards, so he puts minus 2 yards, 3 yards
off of 50 yards.
You have a lot of like +1 or +2 or 3s that you're going to lose 2 yards on. It's something you're happy if you roll it and lose 2 yards on. So.
Yeah, and thing of it is, when he's in there too, I was getting a lot of wrong guesses because I guess people was afraid of him hitting. Right. That allowed my below average receivers to have better season than what they deserved.
Yeah, you paid a heavy price to get him. You picked him at 1.6 and gave up Micah Parsons to get that pick. And you got some other things in there as well. Any regrets on that trade, or you're happy with the way things worked out?
Well, I thought my defense I could play well enough, but because I got Xavier Collins, I forget what else I traded away, but I got Xavier Collins back, so that gave me the 4-7. So I thought my defense, if I could play halfway decent with my defense, that would really give me a chance with my offense to do some things. And I mean, of course, won 11 games during the season, lucked out tonight, so I would definitely have to say I'm pleased with him.
Yeah, if that last 2 minutes would have gone differently, maybe you would have second thoughts. But flags fly forever. You got the championship.
Well, how did you wind up getting Tylan Wallace? Was that a pick this year?
Yeah. I forget what round I picked him in.
I'll grab it right now.
5th or 6th, maybe 5th round. And
Yeah,
then
that's quite a card.
yeah. And people kind of stayed away from him most of the year, but he hit a few. I think he had checking here now.
I think he had 2 punt return touchdowns this year.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, averaged 26.5 yards a punt return, but he only returned 10 punts. And that's what I was saying. Most people, stayed away from him and kicked out of bounds.
He was a 5th-round pick. So you got him in the 5th. And I'd say that even though, despite only having 2 in the regular season, he came up big when it counted the most in this game.
Well, I'm totally happy with him. I can tell you that. Without him tonight.
Yeah, he'll never have to buy another beer in Washington for sure.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah. Also, which Aubrey, he was so good kicking the ball, kicking them as touchbacks. Damian Pierce, he didn't get opportunity to return on kickoffs. He returned 13 and also got a touchdown. I think that was against you.
Yeah, looking at the kick returns. Yeah, Damian Pierce had 1 kick return touchdown in the regular season, and Tyler Wallace had 2 punt returns. So yeah, we didn't see much of Pierce tonight. I think his
I had
touchdown
two really good kick returners, kickoff returners. But as I said, Aubrey's just so good they never got the opportunity.
Well, good stuff, guys. I think you were making sure to accommodate us on calling the game. Appreciate that. Congratulations to Keith, Zeb. Tough, heartbreaking way to lose the championship. But thank you for being a good sport. And you'll be back sooner rather than later. And next year we get the Mowbray Conference and the Strong Conference. So, this is like those will be like I think the 2nd or 3rd year in a row that you've had a conference named after you, Zeb. So you're right there.
Yeah, it's been a good run.
Yeah, great season for both of you guys.
Yeah, someone asked a while ago what A-Chain did for the season. He had 237 carries for 1,642 yards.
Pretty productive year.
Yeah.
He was well worth that pick.
Yeah, but his limited carries, the only thing I would think of, maybe you probably would have liked to have a better second banana to A-Chain, because Kamara's kind of an off year for him.
Yeah, Kamara, he really didn't have much of a season. I used him more to pass catch and pass block.
Yeah, so it would have been interesting to see. But all these things that keep coming up, you won the championship, you got the job done, and you're to be congratulated. Now, I've got to get, because I got some games to play myself. So, any last words, guys?
Thanks for running the league, Dennis.
I'm glad you guys are enjoying it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dennis. I know you've been extra busy, and thanks for being able to do this tonight, too. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and Tim took over the play-by-play in the second half. I thought he did a great job.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Tim. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down.
Okay,
right.
Good to see you, Dennis.
And get ready for
Nice to see you for the first time in person, Keith.
Nice to see you, too.
Where are you from?
Virginia.
Okay, I can hear a little twang.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm from the Shenandoah Valley.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
not in West Virginia.
No.
If John Denver thought so, but
But that's Redskin country, right? So you've been a Redskin fan your whole life? Is that what
whole life, ever since I was 8 years old.
Very cool.
56 years.
So hail to the Redskins, the 2023 Strat 28 champions. So thanks a bunch, guys.
Good night.
Thank you all.